Well, good morning all. As you know, my name is Fred Ramos. I'm a principal at Aedas Architects in Singapore. And today, over the next 20 minutes or so, I'll be talking to you about humans and AI, what to expect, and what is the future of the AEC. Well, first of all, thank you all for being here, and thank you for BIM Coordinators Summit to host me and allow me to have the opportunity to talk with all of you. Before I go into the details of my presentation, I'd like to talk a little bit about Aedas. So, over the last 18 years, Aedas has been one of the top leading architects in the world. We believe that great design can only be achieved with people that have a deep understanding of the social and cultural backgrounds that the communities that they are designing for. This has informed our strategy and policy of a global footprint with over 1,100 talents located across the world in 12 cities. Providing services such as architectural design, interior design, graphical design, and urban design and master planning in sectors as diverse as mixed use, healthcare, hotel, hospitality, cultural, sports, residential, etc., you name it. We strongly leverage on our state-of-the-art documentation system and our understanding of BIM information modeling and our commitment with the AEC digital transformation and Aedas sustainability analysis tool to ensure the quality of our work. A quality that has allows us the recognition of our peers with over 900 international design awards. The Aedas Singapore office was founded in 1995, and it is the second biggest in the group. And from there, we cover all the Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, and beyond until to the southeast Australia, to the northeast Japan, and to the west, the Middle East. A little bit about myself. I'm an architect with a second degree in environmental planning. With over 29 years of experience, I've worked in such diverse places such as Europe, Hong Kong, Macau, Singapore, and Melbourne. I'm often also invited to do talks in the topics of digitalization, healthcare, rail, and sometimes sustainability. So today, we'll be talking a little bit about AI. And AI in the last few years, it seems to be like an unstoppable wave that is entering to all our lives. For those of you that are paying attention, it's almost impossible to not talk about the ChatGPT phenomenon. So ChatGPT is, of course, owned by OpenAI, and it was founded in 2015. They had the first version of ChatGPT released in 2018, and what really changed the game was when November 2022, they actually released the ChatGPT 3.5 as an open research tool to everybody. And as you usually say, the rest is history. Interesting enough, talking about history, although it has a lot of buzz lately, in reality, AI is not as recent as such. It goes back as 1943, and the first chatbot was actually achieved in 2014. One thing is for sure, is that AI is changing the way that we think and the way that we work. It doesn't matter what are your sector, being it customer services, content creation, entertainment, or AEC, we are observing a shift, a work skill shift, to a point that it has dramatically changed the perception, what are the critical skills that you require from your workforce. If in 2016, everybody was looking for proficiency in STEM, today, everybody is prioritizing time management skills and the ability to prioritize. To a point that, according to data, we believe that 40% of the workers will have to reskill in the next 3 years due to AI. This is a huge transformation, but how does that actually impact the AEC sector? So Sean Hurley believes that AI can be transformative in many areas of the AEC industry, being it design and planning, virtual construction, construction process, maintenance and operation, you name it. But at the base of everything is actually BIM. BIM is foundational. You might have been familiar with the video released by BIM Coordinators Summit about how BIM is foundational. And why is that? Because BIM allowed us to do the conversion of our data to digital data. And that data is the data that is required by all the other technologies to work. So a little bit like ChatGPT is being a buzz into the business world and students in academia, in the AEC, we've seen the rise of this AI 3D CGI generation, or AI rendering images, right? To a point that we start to talk about this idea of the art of prompt. It's a little bit more than just prompt. It requires a little bit more combination, but yes, it is important and is changing the way that we work. We recently had in Aedas the first global session sharing of AI experts. And we talk about some of the things that we are experimenting, and we'll share some of that. We'll share only 3 examples of softwares that we are experimenting with. Due to limitations of time, we'll not go into the details of the analysis of whatever each one of them do, but it's just to give you an idea of the potential, how this is changing the way that we work. So the first software that we're talking about is Midjourney. From all the ones that we tried, is the one that achieves a better output with less effort, but it's really hard to control the output in that sense. What we like is this ability of blending image. So you can use an existing image that you want with a reference image in terms of style to try to iterate ideas or how to get the look and feel for a space. The second one that we are experimenting and we want to share with you is Stable Diffusion. It allows much more control than Midjourney, but the quality of the rendering is not yet at the same level. What I like on that one, or what we like to share with you, is this idea of the sketch to rendering. The idea that you can actually have a sketch combined with a reference image to generate accurately a rendering. Yeah, you might argue that the quality is not yet there, but remember, this is the first steps of a software solution that was not there 2 years ago, right? And we like also this idea of the sketcher model plus a reference image and how you can iterate that image in terms of the look and feel. And how the potential of how that dramatically changed the way that you work. The last software that I'm just going to share with you today is LookX. In terms of a software, it's quite similar to Stable Diffusion, but it's easier to control. The user interface is easier, and it allows us to train checkpoints and LRA. So basically, you can use images to train your models so that you can control the output results that you want. And we started to experiment actually using our 3D printed models, white models, to try to iterate potential looks and feels that you want to try to it. And I want to share an image to you that I found amazing. One of our colleagues actually just used a ruler and a piece of paper to create a massing. And from that, we could actually create a rendering. Imagine the potential, right? So, and this is just one part of it. The AI is completely revolutionizing the way that we do architecture. And one of the challenges that we have, whenever you try to put one list like this, the moment you put it there, it's gone. It's already, the pace is so fast that it's already outdated. So be aware of that. The second thing that we want to bring back to your attention is automated model checkers. And this is actually has a huge potential to revolutionize the way of how you do your statutory approval process. I'll give you the example of Singapore, where I'm based. So Singapore is in the process of releasing the CoreNet X. The CoreNet X is the third version of the statutory approval process in Singapore. So the new regulatory approval process is re-engineered for transformation. And just to give an example, The current process, any building will go for over 20 approval gates across 8 agencies. What the system that is heavily relying on AI is now promising us is that it will be simplified for 3 gateways only, and it's promising us that you will get a response in 2 weeks' time. Whenever you submit something, authorities will get back to you in 2 weeks' time. How do you actually achieve that? That is achieved, again, based in data, and that's the importance of data. In Singapore, we have created this idea, this notion of the IFC SG. IFC SG is basically a common localized IFC format that is based on the normal standards, of course, but it addresses the local needs. So what does that translate to? I give you an example. For instance, if you want to classify an element as a parapet, that's okay, because you just use the predefined IFC parapet the type, and you can do that. But if you want to classify an element that we need statutorily as a retaining wall, IFC 4 doesn't have that. So what you do is actually use the user-defined type to complement. So IFC complements whatever, IFC SG complements whatever IFC doesn't have to allow us to manage the information and the localization of the data that you need to, for the outcomes that we are looking for. But I guess the $1 million question that everybody's asking about when talking about AI is, will AI take all our jobs out or not? And it really depends. If you believe in the Hollywood's version, yes, it will take all our jobs and will be after our lives also, right? But jokes apart, when I actually looked at the data, and this is from the Thomson Reuters Future of Professions report that was just released in August, so it's as fresh as you can get. Only 9% of the people that were asked actually believe in this apocalyptic future. And in fact, 6 in 10 of all of us, when asked about AI, we actually believe in a positive outcome. And interestingly enough, even when you are asked what is the thing that most scares you in terms of AI, losing jobs is not our first concern. The first concern is actually compromising of accuracy, with 25% of the answers. Only 19% is actually related to job losses. Regardless of that, one thing that data shows is that AI is going to be a catalyst for change of every aspect of the work that we are doing. To a point that 64% of us believe that over the next 5 years, there will be a rise of highly skilled demand. So you will see the rise of skills that are in demand. You will see also a big change on work being done by those that don't have traditional qualifications. Qualifications will change, and you'll see people rise because they have the knowledge, even if they don't have what we understand as a traditional qualification to do the job. And we'll see also the rise of new career paths. So change, we believe change will come, basically. So what could we expect in terms of humans and AI? I believe that we will see the rise of co-authorship. We will see humans and machines collaborating much more in the future to come. And what will that translate into? Okay, we'll see changes in workflows, where as AI takes over, you will see less and less steps in your traditional workflows. You will see faster workflows. As an example, some of our research group is actually working on a workflow, testing a workflow that allows us all the steps to have human-AI interaction. The only step that actually does not leverage AI is the end sketching initial step of it. But we will see also changes in the process and in the decision making. When you look at our current workflows, we are all very familiar with this waterfall approach, that you start with a lot of information. As you go through the steps of your project, you start to funneling and funneling and funneling until you get one final design solution. And your ability to change reduces and reduces each step of the way. With a future workflow that is informed by performance and supported by AI, what we believe it will happen is that the first stage for defining parameters is going to be longer. And you'll not have a lot of information there because, as Pat was saying, basically we are working with stakeholders to try to understand and identify what do they want, what do we need to do. And then AI triggers in. And when AI triggers in, you have a huge array of solutions and data information that to the level that you never had before. The first filter will come from performance decisions. So you will analyze and classify them and rate them according to performance of each one of the solutions. The interesting part is that the design decision will come at the end. But until the end, you'll be able to maintain several different paths that are at equal level of development. You're no longer limited to say, I need to make a decision now if I want to complete that later. You will be able to open up solutions much further down through your process. We will see also changes in the statutory process and the fee structure. Give you the example of CoreNext. In Singapore, CoreNext is proposing to change your timeline for submissions and approvals, and that is going to affect your milestone for payments. So at the moment, the Building Construction Authority and the Real Estate Development body are meeting with the professional representatives from architects and engineers to try to figure it out how to do a new fee structure and new milestones to pay, because information is going to be released in a different manner in a different process. While in the previous process, an architect will submit their gateway and get approved and could be paid. Now, you only have three gateways, so the second gateway forces all the disciplines to go together. So it means that it might take you much longer to get to that approval, because if, say, the plumbing or electrical is not approved, you don't get approval also, because it's only one review all together. We'll see also changes in the AEC design consultancies, because they will need to find strategies to survive the AI revolution, or the tsunami, as I said in the beginning. I believe that we'll see three main strategies. The first of them will be the status quo, or business as usual. We saw it with BIM also. This is translated basically with people trying to shoehorn a new technology into existing process. They don't really want to change the process. They will make the best of the new technology in their processes. The second strategy, probably, that we'll observe is this idea of the performance base. And in this scenario, in this strategy, you will have a huge approach of in-house AI as unique selling point. So to give an example, as Google developed an amazing algorithmic that allowed them to outperform all the other ones, firms that in the AEC that have maybe a larger pool of data will probably be able to have better quality to inform their models. Or if you have a small company that invests a lot in research and development, they may be able to get their own AI solutions that outperform the other ones. And the third example is this idea of brand and luxury service. In this strategy, firms or people will acquire services of a firm to get association of the branding and the luxury and all the benefits associated with it. Give an example. If you buy a Louis Vuitton luggage, it's not just because you're buying a handbag. You're buying the status associated with it. You could have the same also in terms of design consultancies. It's about what you gain with the status of associating with that brand name. And we'll see, of course, a race to upskill and retraining. As I mentioned before, it is expected that over the next 3 years, 40% of the industry will need to retrain due to AI. So it's quite important that we invest in that and be prepared for that to support our staff that is willing to change. So in conclusion, I don't believe that AI will replace people, but people who know how to use AI will replace people who don't know how to use it. For those of you that are familiar with my presentations, I always like to end up with a kind of an inspiring statement from someone. This time I bring you James Dean. I can change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. And that's why I'm inviting you all to engage with AI. Learn it, invest time on it, create the opportunities for your staff to experiment it, because that's the only way that they will develop the skills that will allow them to control the sails, to take them to their destination, riding the tsunami of AI. And that concludes my presentation for today. Thank you very much.